Mummy time! We're going right into the Reckoning. This will be the last of the Transcendence 5 videos. I figured it'd be the best idea to just use my same team from Crucible 1. They seem to have pretty much everything you need to tango with these guys. It does get a little dicey if you're not careful because these mummies can hit pretty hard. Especially that big one in the middle. His AoE is pretty devastating. So, we're going to delete the shit out of him and try to deal with that for as little as possible. However, that doesn't mean that you should just ignore the small ones, because how you damage these guys is very key in this fight. As stated in the last video, normally, with fights like this, they kind of have trained us to just go for the big target as much as possible and let excess damage, like say traps or splash damage or what have you, deal with the little ones. I'm sure there's a way to do that here, and I did try to play that way as much as possible, but it did get to a point where we did have to actually focus the little ones because it's awkward. How it works, from what I've gathered, is at 3 different thresholds, and the typical ones you'd expect, the 80, 50, 30 thresholds. If the little ones are any higher than 50% health, they will hit you hard. The 80% threshold one isn't as bad, but the 50 and 30 ones, they'll just kill you. Like straight up, take off all your buffs, nothing you can do to avoid it, you're dead. So, damage distribution was key for this. I think different comps would probably have an easier time doing it as far as the damage distribution goes, but I could not get rid of Zidane. He's too effective here as far as just like where's that big one's turn? It's gone. And his damage output is really good. Burst effect's nice. The burst heals, because you're gonna need that if you're not well protected. Really the only protection we have here is the Beatrix safeguard, which I don't think I even used anyways. I honestly don't remember now, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. That debuff they put on you is pretty obnoxious too. Look at that, a 7-turn duration, and it stacks. The higher the stacks get, the higher the HP sap is that's inflicted on you. So maybe some debuff cleanse could have been in order, but we really didn't seem to need it. It's just kind of a nuisance having it on, but it's not too detrimental. It can get you in a bad spot if you let it sap you too much and you're not properly healed when they hit you at the thresholds, because they are gonna hit us. That's inevitable. They will take swings at you. Like I said, 80, 50, and 30 thresholds. Like right there, see? Now because he was under half, he'll die, but now they're back. And now the whole cycle starts again with the 50%. Only this time it's much more dire because, like I said, you screw it up this time, you're dead. Plain and simple. But Ace helps out immensely at wearing those guys down. Man, I want his burst, dude. I really do. But you know what? I'm going to say I think that this era, and maybe I'll eat my words eventually, but it seems as though this era is going to discourage me from pulling a lot. At least early on. Because, I mean, I don't see the point in chasing something that you don't even really have the materials to max out anyways. I wanted that Ace LD though, so I'm glad I got that. But I don't know, in the future, I don't know how much chasing I'm going to do. I guess we'll see. We'll see. I mean, of course I'm going to pull. I'm not saying I'm done pulling, because then, you know, my DFFOO tenure would be just over. You kind of have to pull to keep up, but not all the time. Yeah, as you can see, our damage dropped off immensely the second he brought those mummies back, so we got to throw the enchant on. We just have to. I'm also playing Zidane differently than I normally would, given the nature of this fight. I waited a long time to go into his Grand Lethal, just to have the burst effect up. Maybe I could have done it earlier, but I wanted to time it so that he would still have at least 6 or 7 turns left of his burst effect for when he goes into his burst, because it's such a huge damage drop off in his burst when he doesn't have the burst effect going. It's pretty bad. But with that up, it's very helpful. And we're also going to utilize the Zidane's call so we can launch amidst that entire burst. Which, see, it sucks because, I mean, for this situation, it works out great, but Zidane's call is so good, but he's so much better just on the team. I love him on the team, man. I opted to save him. He's really effective for all the tiers, but I opted to save him because I think he's, in a word, overkill for this tier. So I'm probably going to use him in tier 6, but we'll see. But anyway, back to the fight at hand. Now is as good a time as any to burst, because again, I'm always watching the health of the small ones in relation to the health of the big ones. So by the time we get out of this burst, those guys will definitely be under 50, and so will the big one. So that means we would have passed through yet another. And then I'm going to time my summon to do the same thing for the last one. And then at that point, the fight's basically over. I really enjoyed this fight, by the way. There's something about 3-on-3 fights that I just can't get enough of in this game. I really wish they would do more of it. They seem to be set in their ways with the fight 2 of the same boss kind of thing. And I get that, but it's a little overdone if you ask me. I think they should mix it up more often. It's either 2 of the same boss or 1 beefy single target boss. And then every now and again they'll throw in stuff like this. I like when they do stuff like this. It's more to keep track of, it's more to manage. And it just makes sense. It's 3 against 3. I took a little too long to mention this, but as you can see, I finally got that Zidane costume. I didn't mention that in the last video he was here either, but I finally got it. And no longer will I have thumbnails with the Zidane costume, but Zidane in the other costume. I didn't feel like searching the other image. I had this one saved. Okay? Not a big deal. I know it was kind of clickbaity, but regardless, Zidane was still there, okay? Not a big deal. $6.6. That is acceptable. That is more than acceptable. And damn, I did a few runs of this, but this was my lowest turn count. So I'll just do this one. I wasn't expecting, ouch, Ace, oh boy. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be at 15 turns and be this far along into the fight. I'm not complaining whatsoever. I'm very happy with it. We gotta send you flying. And I want to ask you a question. So we've had 5 Transcendence tiers so far. So I'm gonna ask 2 two-parter questions, like question within a question twice. So what is your favorite Transcendence tier? And within that tier, what's your favorite part of it? Whether it be Reckoning or one of the 2 Crucibles. And then also, least favorite and fight you hated the most within said tier. Does that make sense? I'm curious. And I asked that question and now I don't even know if I can answer it myself. I might have to think about that, actually. I'm not really sure. But, you know, this one might be my favorite fight. This one. I think this right here is my favorite Transcendence fight. You know what? Yeah, that's going to be my favorite. Least favorite is probably going to be, and this doesn't mean I found it the most difficult. It's just my least favorite. Is probably Transcendence 2 Reckoning, just because it's so long. It's a marathon, that fight. With that damn big-ass bird in the middle. Okay, no. We're not going to get on the topic of birds. We're not going to get into that, okay? Birds were a bunch of tiers ago, okay? It's mummy season now. We don't need to talk about fucking birds. Let's just move on. You know what? I'm wrong. There were birds in this tier too, but they were just mechanical birds. You can't fool me. I know you don't have feathers, but you got those big-ass metal wings flapping around. A mechanical bird is still a bird, okay? No more birds in Transcendence. Mummies over birds. That's my opinion anyway. But you know what? Thinking about it more, I might have to change my answer. You know what? No, I won't change my answer. Okay. Transcendence 2 Reckoning is my least favorite fight just because of how long it takes. But I'll say though, okay, and I'll add another question. Out of all of the Transcendence Tiers Crucibles, narrow it down to one where you struggled the most. Mine is going to be Tier 4 Left Gate, because I didn't have Yuna and it was fucking brutal. But it did leave me with quite a sense of accomplishment beating it without her. So that was cool. But probably not as much as the Freya clear I did on stream of the other side. That was super fun. I wish I would have done that like in video form, but I mean, it's on stream, but so if you want to go through and watch one of my crappy streams with terrible quality, it's a good run, bunch of mistakes, but still a good run with terrible quality if you want to watch it. But you might have to fast forward through 2 hours of bull crap. And I think I was like co-oping or something before that. Yeah, just talking shit with chat. Good time. I should stream more. But streaming takes time, because I can never stream for a short amount of time. Every time I stream, it's like 3 hours. I just get distracted. So, yeah, I don't know. Or I could just exercise self-control and learn to cut myself off after an hour, but I'm not going to do that. I have too much fun. Holy shit, Ace. 402 HP. That's okay. Zidane will take care of us. I love the fact that he can just burst heal now. So whenever we're in situations like this, I mean, look at this. This is just so... Okay, not there. Not there. In a second here. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, not a problem. He's so good. I'm so happy with Zidane. I love him, man. He's real good. And really fun to play. Which is ultimately more important. Depending on who you ask, anyways. And Beatrix, I haven't talked about her at all because I've kind of just been rambling this whole video, but she has been putting in so much work, especially against those little guys. Her off-turn damage and that battery hooking everybody up. I love what they did to her too, man. Like, she's generally not my playstyle, but it's Beatrix. The queen! Well, she's not the queen, Garnet. You know what I mean. Well, she's not the queen. She's not literally the shut the fuck up. I've cursed a lot in this video, and it's all staying in. 9%. This orb, I think, is they can't have more than like 2k or something. It's no, okay, it's not that, because I just see 65 and it stayed the same. I don't remember what it is, because this orb is very forgettable. This orb is not the challenge of this fight whatsoever. It's kind of like the Reno fight where the fight sucked ass, but it wasn't because of the orb. It's that kind of thing. I'd love to launch right now, but there's really no reason to do that. We might as well just do as much damage to that one in the middle as we possibly can. Oh, you know what I should have done there is spam C65s to have the ace traps go off. Yeah, that would have been much smarter. I always forget you can do that. So we end the fight with almost full health. They took away like 5 HP from Beatrix or something pathetic. Not a problem. Ace, this being your debut, I think it's appropriate that you do the honors. Big finish. Like I said, all in all, I really like this fight. I want more stuff like this. Well, that's tier 5. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see everybody around, and thank you for watching. Take care, everybody.